From the soul, y'all. Keep your soul pulsating. You got to do this from your heart, meaning your inner soul. Yeah, from the soul, y'all. Check it. From the soul, y'all.
Nice to see you, Steen.
So good to see you, Arte. Yeah. Nice to be back.
I just want to be introducing you to the audience.
Yeah.
And this is Steen Koerner. Big
nice
ups.
to meet you all.
Yes.
Yeah.
And me know. We've seen each other off and on.
Yeah.
40 years plus.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's crazy, but
That's so weird.
It's fun to see you again in Stockholm.
Yeah.
Even it's close to Copenhagen. It's not close enough to see each other more often.
Yeah, no bike distance.
No bike distance. So anyway, just want to see who are you?
Yeah.
Where did you start from?
Yeah, so my name is Steen and I'm from Copenhagen, and I started popping around 82. I was actually doing a lot of things with dancing before. School was never my favorite thing, but dancing was always like a way to like get away from everything. And when I saw popping first time, it was probably on TV, and then I just imitated what I saw on TV.
Now you said probably. You don't really exactly know where you saw it the first time?
I was definitely on TV.
Yeah.
I should not say probably. I should say definitely on TV, and then imitating moves from television. And then it was all over like magazines, and you could see it the first couple of music videos and all this stuff, right? And then it felt like a long time from 82 to 83, 83 to 84. But now when we look back at it, it's perhaps not that long, but it felt long. And that's when there was a Danish-Swedish production that was on TV. It was called Electric Boogie Boys.
Yes.
Yeah, you remember
this,
right?
It's a Danish production, actually. But it was broadcasted also in Sweden.
I think it's a Danish-Swedish production.
It can be.
With a company called Centropa.
Mm-hmm.
Is it? I think it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I met the lady who made the movie. I tried to tell what a huge impact it had on all of us.
All of us,
And she couldn't believe a word of what I was telling her. She thought maybe I was a bit crazy. But Electric Boogie Boys, you can actually look it up in YouTube.
Yeah.
And it's there.
I mean, it's almost had such an impact like Wild Style.
Yeah, same thing.
Or Style War.
Yeah.
It's like...
Yeah. Do you remember there was also one of the guys from Magnificent Force that was in it? But else it was actually fairly unknown people.
And they never made it somewhere else.
They never made it. It's actually like such a beautiful movie, I think. So that, and then Star Wars, of course, hip hop history, and
then later on, of course,
and from there on, then it
came Street and breakdance.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So all of that was kind of like the early days. But then we had a few youth clubs in Copenhagen, where everybody would meet and battle on Fridays. There was actually like 3, 4 in the beginning. When I say beginning, like 83, 82. And we would meet on the pedestrian street, the walking street in Copenhagen, and do some battling then. But then one day, they called me from Malmö. What's his name again?
Alex or
no, the popper.
Kid Jam?
No.
A popper.
Yeah, because Kid Jam was living
in Gothenburg then?
No, he was living in Copenhagen, and I was dancing together with him in a crew together with him back then.
Ah.
And he was such a good b-boy. No, the popper from Malmö.
Popper from Malmö, I don't know.
Yeah, we should know it. It's terrible. But I mean, it's actually more than 40 years ago, right? I totally see his face. Anyway, he called me because we used to go to Stad Hamburg in Malmö to do some battling. And then, I mean, just because there's a big difference back then if you were good or super good, or you were one of the best, or if you were a beginner. But now when you look at it, the difference was not that big.
No.
Yeah.
But someone stood out, of course.
Yeah, but the difference was actually not that big as I thought back then, right? So anyway, he called me and said he had a battle for me. And there was this one guy who did ground moves that I should battle. And I didn't know what a ground move were. I thought, like, is that like a basic? Is that what is he talking about? So I went over there, and then that was when I met Damon the first time.
That was the first time you met Damon?
Yeah, in Stad Hamburg, and we had a battle. And by this time, I won a few Danish championships. And I think that I actually already been in Paris and in London, which meant that I learned from Danny Francis, and I learned from, back then he was called Bebop, from Covent Garden. And they were really nice to me. I was...
So you already had seen some other things than the Scandinavian popping scene, so to say. Yeah.
I thought I was so good that I had to go and look for some other people, other places.
Yeah, but that was the time.
Yeah, so we went with some graffiti painters to Paris. And in Paris, I just walked up and down the main streets to find some poppers. And then I found a group of poppers. They were doing a show. And then when somebody went back in, then I ran in and I did my popping. And then this guy came over to me and he was like, okay, me and you. And then I was in the show. It was a guy called Soda Pop. He was so tall.
But it's funny because this is the way to interact in that time.
Yeah.
You went on the street and you find the dancers on the street.
Yeah, there was no other way. Same thing in London. I went to Covent Garden because I knew, or I heard there was somebody there. And then I met Danny Francis and Bebop, and they took me to a place called the African Center, which is actually the guy from Soul to Soul who were running that back then. And they taught me a few moves. I still remember all the moves that I learned, and I was so happy. So then, a little bit later, same year, 85, then I met Damon, and I had like a big shock.
Yeah, a totally different style.
Totally different style, and so much better and articulated, and like he knew so much. And
also the knowledge, what it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Before also for me, before Damon, we know moves, but we didn't know what is it. What does it come from? Who invented it?
Or why are we doing this like that or that like that? Yeah.
Or it's like crazy because you could do popping to the wrong music, or you could do tutting, or you could do robot to the wrong music. It doesn't fit for someone who is knowledge enough.
Exactly.
But for us, we didn't know.
Yeah. And I didn't know why the difference between because Mr. Wiggles had a huge impact, right? And Pop and Taco was maybe my favorite dancer, and I just wanted to be like Pop and Taco, but I didn't know why Mr. Wiggles had that style and why Pop and Taco
why were they
that
different?
style. So it was definitely through Damon that back then, like I really attached myself to Damon, and that was also the first main reason to come to Stockholm. But that's not true, because actually already in 86, we rented a limo scene from the youth club. They rented a limousine for us, and then we went up here to Fryshuset.
With a limo?
Yeah, with the limo, because it had to be like a real battle. So we could step out the limo and then go and do the battle.
Yeah, because that was the first battle.
Yeah, in 86.
Yeah, because that I remember, because then you came, not only you, but the Danish dancers came with...
I have a few pictures from that day too.
Yeah. Amazing.
And that was when Mr. Wave was here.
It was Two Deaf
and,
Days of Hip Hop,
Yeah, and Icy Eyes.
Yeah.
Tila Rock.
Yeah, Tila Rock, yes.
Yeah. Some things sticks. And we was hanging out with Mr. Wave and Icy Eyes the whole day. They were so nice. And then in the evening, we wanted to battle them. It was so rude.
Yeah. small kids.
Yeah.
From.
Yeah.
I know.
That's a bad behavior.
No, but it was fun. Fun
It was such a fun time.
Yeah, fun time. But do you remember who else was with you guys then?
Yeah, I remember. It was a guy called Chief One that was from a crew called Floormasters. It was the Duke, also from Floormasters. Later on, he became. He was already a DJ, but he became a real famous DJ. He was
producer.
Yeah, and he was the first guy who invented to do all the scratching and mixing without the headphones and just putting small stickers on it and do that stuff. And he did that in the DMC competition.
Yes.
And then he moved to New York and all this. And I spent a lot of time with him in New York also.
Okay.
And already back then he was playing at this place called The World in New York. But he was with us there. There was another guy who was very good at like power moves. I forgot.
Yeah, but both those that you said, Duke and Chief One, they are also breakers.
They are both of them breakers, but also Duke was a popper, and his style was a lot like Mr. Wiggles. It was definitely his big idol to do popping like Mr. Wiggles, and I was more into LA style,
West Coast.
Yeah. But I didn't know why. What was the difference?
Yeah.
And so after meeting Damon and connected with him, he also went with me to London, and then he met with Danny and with Bebop, and that's how Bebop got to go to Sweden.
Yeah.
And then I stayed up here in Sweden in Stockholm for almost I can't remember, half a year.
Yeah.
Something like this. 87. I think it must have been.
I think during the summer 87 could be.
87, right? I was living in a place called Fitja. It was my first apartment by myself.
Yeah?
Yeah, I remember my mom asking, so what, are you moving out now?
Yeah.
I said, how can I know? I don't know. I'm going to Stockholm.
Yeah.
And then we were street dancing and Damon and Bebop were street dancing. One spot, we were just around the corner. And then every night we would go and count the money at the same place to see if we were making as much as they did. And we never did.
No, it's funny because Damon and Bebop, they have a great sound system.
Yeah.
So of course, instead of a small boombox, they have a big one. So that was one thing. But they also had a show
they were incredible good.
Yeah.
I mean, in my opinion, at this time, late 80s, beginning of going into the 90s, they were probably, for me, the best in the world.
Yeah.
Because a lot of other places people had
stopped.
Yeah. Right?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. And
I have some footage of you and Thomas and also Throwdown Rockers.
Yeah. Wow.
And when you're dancing on the street there.
Wow.
On Sergels Story.
Yeah. Wow. That's so cool. I was just telling my girlfriend when we walked past it here we were dancing and here we were dancing. And then I looked for a pizza spot, but it was not there no more. It was where we used to count the money. But of course it was not there, right? Yeah. Yeah, that was an amazing time. And we did a lot together. And then already, if I skip a little bit, then in 99, then we did the first theater play.
But now you skipped a lot.
Yeah, that was,
You cannot rush that forward.
That was,
I mean, because then, okay, this is maybe the 80s. But then in the 90s, I remember that you and me, it was actually via the same contacts, via Quickstep in New York, because you wanted to go to New York and you met Quickstep, and we were also in New York and met Quickstep. And via Quickstep, we also then got to know and connect to Storm and Battle Squad.
Yeah, that's right. But also even before that, then when I went to New York, the first time was together with Damon and Thomas. And we went to, I lived in Shake's house in 86 in Queens, Jamaica. And then Thomas had to go to Pennsylvania and Damon had to go to LA, to Berkeley. And then I stayed by myself in Shake's house back then.
Oh, wow.
Together with his brother and his mom in Queens, Jamaica. And that's when we went to like Latin quarters.
Latin quarters.
That's where we went.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Latin quarters. I used to be there.
Yeah, now I
96.
remembered, yeah. And we street performed together with Floatmaster John, the Float Committee, back in '86. They thought me and Thomas, because we had the triple goose bombers, so they thought we were the Beastie Boys. And we had to tell them, no, we're not the Beastie Boys, we're dancing. And we showed them our popping, and they were like, wow, the Beastie Boys can do popping, you know. It was so weird. There was not a whole lot of white people in New York at that time doing popping, like, yeah. So even when we went to Latin quarters, then the people that we left the coats in the coat check, they asked for autographs also, because they thought we were the Beastie Boys. So it was like such a culture thing. We also tried to get into the Roxy's, but we were so young. The bouncer told us to take a walk around the block, and then I asked him, and then we're gonna get in.
Take a walk around the block, then you're grown enough.
Yeah. So I mean, and that's the first time I met Shake, and he also moved to Stockholm. He actually did a legendary show here where he was sitting on a chair on a stage. Can you remember that show? Yeah. Do you guys have that on video?
Yes.
I think a lot of people need to see that, because when people think of New York, they think of some specific dancers. And I don't think a lot of them know
Shake. No, that's true.
Yeah.
In that time, in that late 80s era, that was not many people.
Not like that.
No.
And I don't think there was anybody on Shake's level.
No, that's true.
And when Shake and Damon and me and Thomas was practicing in the basement, Shake used to tell about like how he started with robot dancing, and then Damon told like how he started. And if I remember correctly, but you can of course ask Damon, then he talked about a bus dance and a parking lot dance. There was a parking lot dance and there was a bus dance, and the bus dance was all the little stuff he could do with his hands. And the parking lot dance was, of course, bigger. And then he was, of course, a waver, right? He was doing waving. And then Damon had a videotape of a competition in California where all the crews were a letter, and it was the whole alphabet. And me and Thomas got to watch that tape one late night, and we stayed up all night watching it again and again and again. And I think that was the first time we realized how many different styles there were. And back then, started to ask Damon questions. So how can you do what's the best wave? I want to learn the best wave. And then he would ask me like, so is it like electricity or like in cracks or like water? And I was like so frustrated. Why can't he just show me the best way to do a wave, right? He was such a good teacher. And he talked about all these different styles from different places. And
he's like a schoolboy case.
Yeah.
You know,
I feel like I was so lucky for
to meet for us to meet him. Yes. To get that knowledge.
But Sweden has been amazing like that, right? Because we did a lot of stuff from Denmark, Stockholm, Gothenburg, forward and back in the 80s, right? It was kind of like a good connection. And then I did street shows also around Europe, Germany and France and Holland.
Yeah, you were traveling far. I mean, you also, Copenhagen is more closer to the continent than it is from Stockholm.
Yeah.
And of course, maybe you also got good connections to go somewhere. So
we didn't have much connections, I would say, but one of our friends just got a driver's license. It was about that age, so we thought, okay, why we're just gonna go, and like we would go without any money because we could do street shows.
Yeah.
And then we would just like trust that everything's gonna be fine. Like, let's just go. We're going. And then doing street shows in Paris together with Anthony and Warren that I danced together with since '87. And Anthony and Warren and also Dave is from a crew called Split Second Freeze Frame in London that moved to Copenhagen in '85 to do TV shows. And when I knew they was there, I was already hanging out with them. That's how I learned locking and like London jazz styles and the way that
because you're not only into, or at least back then, you were also into funk dances.
all the funk. I love all the funk dances for sure. So and the way that you were popping and I was popping was like a heavy influence of Damon, right?
Yeah.
I mean, without us knowing it.
No, exactly. That's.
I mean, of course, we were picking from.
You didn't have hundreds of clips or thousands of clips. What you have nowadays.
Yeah.
You have maybe one thing that you can see. When you see him.
Yeah, exactly.
And who is it? It's Damon. It's maybe you. It's it's not many people.
Yeah, and he was so generous. In actually
we
showing
train.
us.
Train together and learn.
And then Bebop was totally maybe one of the very best guys in Europe.
Yeah.
Danny Francis also came here. Shake also came here to Stockholm.
It really got a.
Yeah, and then Anthony and Warren also came here. And now Warren has a girlfriend from Stockholm. Anthony has a wife here in Stockholm. And then when going to Paris street performing, I mean, I met Fax already when we were performing in Holland, in the Netherlands. And Fax, as you know, do the slow motion style. But when we were street performing in Paris, we met a group called Pop Dreams. So Out of Control was doing street shows in front of the Pompidou Center. And then there was these two guys doing a slow motion performance. And there was nothing like we have ever seen before. It was not a part of hip hop, not at all. It was not like popping. It was not any funk dancing or anything like this. And of course, they were dancing to Moments in Love back then. So it was also such a different vibe than anything that we knew from before. But anyways, when we saw that show, I remember the first time I saw that show, I didn't know if I forgot to breathe. Did I breathe? Or did I just watch like 7 minutes without any breathing? Like, because I was really just like, I couldn't understand what was going on. So we stayed a week together with them, and they taught me and Anthony and Warren how to do slow motion. And that was my first experience of getting something to mix all the popping I already knew with to transform.
But you were always open to learn more things, different things.
Yeah.
I mean, because now you also showed tutting, but what I remember from the first years or maybe the first 10 years, you were waving.
Yeah.
You know, and slow motion. Yes.
Yeah.
And then you did a lot of funk dances, locking.
Yeah.
And now you also tutting. So you always been into a lot of different styles.
Yeah. I don't know. I just thought it was funny to learn always. And when you meet people around you, then it's kind of like I want to be a part of that too, right? So.
But back in the 80s, you were never really interested of learn breaking, more to say. Or?
Yeah, I don't know if you remember, but I actually did swipes and some acrobatics, and I could do some of it, but my interest was never there. I think my swipe was pretty decent, and I could do acrobatics together with Warren, some backflips and this stuff, right? And of course, also from the locking, then you learn your alphas and double alphas,
that's right.
flips and kick split and all this stuff, but mainly then b-boying, not so much.
No.
And back then it was not so. It was more like, I think, like Mr. Wiggles, who who could combine the two. Like
it was very few. I mean, it was very separated already from the beginning.
Yeah, right.
You could always say that, okay,
Yeah.
now Boogaloo Shrimp, okay, he's a popper, but I tried to break, but not good.
Yeah.
So it's just
yeah. Oh, it's definitely different, right?
Yeah.
And for us, we knew the difference because we grew up with everything that came from New York.
Yeah.
Right? So, and later on we found out what was the real reason, because Damon started already, as far as I remember, back in 76.
Yeah, I don't know. It's very early.
Yeah.
Before he knew what it was.
Yeah, and he always talked about the people that was there before him. And when we was in Paris, then this guy who was the master of slow motion said his name was Langsam, which was so strange, right? So I'm thinking, is he German? Is he French? Where are you from?
Langsam, yeah.
Yeah, no, he have a Swedish girlfriend, or he have a Swedish girlfriend. And now he lives in Stockholm.
Yeah.
So that means that he moved away from France so early that people in...
Before people know that it was a dance or it was a movement.
And he said it was not slow motion because their crew was called Pop Dreams. So I could never say slow motion. Now everybody would say slow motion. He would be so mad about this. Yeah, because...
In their mind, what was it then?
It was more like an edited way of moving. It's not that it wasn't slow motion, because, I don't know, you can remember we got the VCR with the video. And now you can press pause.
Yeah.
So everything before then, you could never press pause. You could never press pause and put in slow motion and this.
I remember it's actually not slow motion. It's frame by frame. So it's like 24 frames in a second. So of course, if you move, it's not slow motion. It's actually
it's not this. And then suddenly there came like slow motion clips on TV, for example, in reruns in football. Suddenly you could see people going in slow motion, right? But we never saw that before. So everything we saw kind of like affected the way we dance. So they would probably call it like a technology type of dancing. And traveling around in France back then, the street performing, then we met different slow motion crews. So the one down south danced way different, because we went to Cannes and Nice. We also tried to perform in Monte Carlo, but the police kicked us out of the city because we had no permit, no invitation, anything. We got kicked out. We're like, what? Kicked out? Are you crazy? Yeah. But they did different slow motion than the style.
That slow motion was so... that it was such a movement in France.
It was a huge movement. So actually, because Langsam, he showed us like you have to walk normal, and then slower, then slower, then slower. But like how you walk normally, because you're not walking like this, right? So everything has to be straight. The guys down south, they would do a heavy bounce, like on the heel, boom, and then boom in the middle, and boom. So they had like an effect on it. And then you see Fax's style is different because he walks on the side of his feet. He would also push forward, land on his toe, like all sort of stuff that you don't do. This you don't do in if you do it the right way. Like how he would say Langsam. And I met Langsam in the Park Jam, when you guys have the Park Jam here in Stockholm. Then he was there with his family. This is a long time ago, together with the Robot Boys also. But since then I haven't seen him. And I would really like, because I think I teach slow motion to a lot of people.
And of course, it's interesting to really know a little bit more about the culture and the history.
So if some people do slow motion like the style that I have learned, is because of Pop Dreams from Paris. And that would say that a person like Boogie Frantic, or I think Salah, all of them dances like this French group that nobody knows. Which is pretty interesting. And this is everything is located in Stockholm. And I think that's
funny.
That's super funny, yeah. Yeah, and nobody knows about it.
No, nobody knows.
Nobody knows.
That's one reason we do such a interview series, because we want to try to get as much knowledge out.
Yeah, and then also here in Stockholm also came Pat and Dias, the two lockers from London also. And Anthony, of course, in our crew, he was like the master locker. Like he could really do locking, but he did everything what they call the jazz style, the boogie toe, from he was a little kid. So his locking was, for me, my opinion was like on a different type of level. So he also did popping, and Warren also did some popping, but he was like a b-boy, and he used to dance together with King B back in London also. So they were the best b-boys in London, and they were incredible, right? And Dave, he did locking and popping also, but more all round. So the way that Anthony learned me popping has definitely influenced my style, because I mean, it was more hard back then. If you were doing it wrong, then some people would even like laugh at you and not tell you exactly what you're doing wrong. But when you dance together with somebody always, then for me, I knew that, okay, 2, 4, 6, 8, it has to drop on the clap. Because if it's not on the clap, then it's offbeat. So all this stuff, and there was never no counting when we did routines. It's not like in a dance school.
No.
And you remember back then, if you went to a dance school, it was mainly to diss somebody.
Yeah, are you taking classes?
Exactly.
Who are you?
Yeah. Actually, I spoke to your daughter about this. I explained them like, and she said, "Yeah, that's what I told you. That's what my father told me. Like, if you went to this, is terrible."
Yeah. You need to learn yourself.
Yeah, exactly. That's so not the right way.
Yeah.
And I'm so happy in a way all this changed. Like it's such a different world now, right?
Yeah,
like,
of course.
Yeah.
It's more share. You share it. You're able to do it if you want to.
Yeah.
Yes.
There was not so many of us, but it felt like a huge thing, right?
But what is it's an intricate thing here, because when I talk to people who was from our generation, a really big part was that you want to be original.
Yeah.
And a lot of us think it's lost, because you learn too many things and you get to learn from other people.
Yeah.
So you don't get that original style, which is your style, and you're proud of it.
Yeah.
Because that was such a big part, that be original, be yourself.
Yeah.
And it's a little bit, sometimes it's away now.
Yeah. But can you remember how long time we danced before we got to be original, right? Because like I think we were copies of other people, but
it's a little bit of an illusion, of course.
Yeah, but we copied. So the more people you can copy, the more there's a chance of you camouflaging everything, because it mixed together in a way that people haven't seen before, right? And then I think the first time Damon said to me, I was doing a show in 98 in London, Fresh 98, and Damon was there also, and Ken Swift and Storm, and a lot of like important people in our world was there. And I did my solo, and I did all my slow motion and like robotic style and with the separations. And then after the show, he said to me like, and I can remember this, "Wow, Steen, now you have definitely found your own style. This is 98. And I have danced then for 16 years before my teacher told me that I finally found my own style, right? It took me 16 years of copying so many people that it finally became myself. I think you were a little bit more lucky, because you were also so flexible. So you could do moves that nobody else really could do, right? And you could be so soft that everybody always knew like artist style is this, right? So in that way, you really had a style, right? And
I never thought about it, but maybe you're right. But
in my head, I knew what your style was, right? And with this whole like grabbing and pulling through, and so flexible and so soft and everything, right? So because your body could do something that you embrace.
Yeah, of course. Sometimes it is your body that make your style.
Yeah.
But also it's a mental thing also. And I think maybe in your way it was more a mental thing that now I've found.
Yeah.
I've learned so many different bricks to do my foundation. And now I can do it.
Yeah, now I found out because also I was doing street shows. So
because in my mind you had your own style already 85 when I met you the first time.
Yeah.
But it's
But you're right. When I look at videos from 85, I was thinking, wow, I really dance like me. You know, like, so then it's easier to tell. But back then you don't know anything, right? Yeah. So I think that's a quest for everybody. And I try and tell my students always, like, for example, the Robot Boys, or like now with Ibrahim and Malte, and with all these different people I've been teaching, that they should try and look for more teachers. It's good to be a fan of something, because I think we grew up being a fan of many people, and now they have easy access to it. So I'm kind of like, if you have somebody that you want to learn what they do, try and watch it when you eat breakfast. When you finish your breakfast, then you try to practice it. When you are finished practicing, then you record yourself. Then now at lunch, you can watch that person and yourself. And then when you finish lunch, then you probably have an opinion what you still need to work on. Then you practice that. And then you watch again when you eat dinner. Like, am I a little bit closer now, right? And this you can repeat every day. And then in the evening, maybe you can just freestyle stuff, right? For us, when we were starting to dance, it was not like you did it the whole day, right? When I was living in Stockholm, I used to go to Bebop's house in the morning to stretch and practice a little bit. Then we would go to the street to street perform. When we finished street performing, it's dinner. Then we would either go to a club or meet somebody and practice some more. And then you would go to bed and wake up and
do the same again.
So I think if to answer that question, finding your own style is not necessary. You just have to be influenced by enough people that
it will come.
It will come. Hip hop is like a sample culture, right?
Yeah.
You sample from everywhere and then you spit it out in your own original way.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. So that way is kind of like you said, is an illusion to tell young people that you have to learn your own style, because there was always somebody before us. And now when you look, now I know more about mechanical dancing. Mechanical dancing has been around for as long as human has made mechanical devices. So when you watch Charlie Chaplin doing robot back then, it's because of there was robotic
in some factory that someone had seen.
And even the clockwork, in Europe, I think is in 14th century. It start coming clockwork that comes out and boom, boom, driving, right, boom. So somebody would have went home and tried that, right? But now I know more about, if you look up in Google about Chinese mechanical figures, mechanical toys, then you'll find out that the emperor made these for his amusement for more than 2,000 years ago. And it's very famous that he also had some people who entertained him that would imitate these
machines.
And I would say those were the first professional robot dancers. And that would have been 2,000 years ago. So we're actually doing a style.
But imagine, maybe you've thought about it already. I mean, King Tut, it comes from the it's 4,000 years ago. Maybe they're...
But why did they do this? Why is this? And I'm really thinking, is that like kind of like to show that they know geometrics? Because why not just do a picture like, or like this, or
Yeah.
like that, right?
Yeah.
So what?
Why are
this?
the?
Yeah.
It's
Is
interesting.
this measurement, and that's why we talk about. So when I got into tutting, it was mostly after 2000 because I started hanging out much more with Sean, and maybe then just because we did a lot in the 90s when we went to the first type of Battle of the Years and jams in Germany, and like you said, Storm was here in 91.
Yeah.
This is
Yes, so I mean, in the 90s, yes, this was the moment. But
Yeah.
I remember that I saw you guys. You were doing the real theater shows.
yeah,
I mean, you were the first.
yeah,
Okay, at least I saw one in '87 in
Yeah.
Broadway actually
yeah,
with Wiggles.
yeah,
But that you did it here, or at least in Copenhagen.
yeah,
I don't know, what was it, 97, 98?
yeah.
It was totally
Yeah.
mind blowing.
Yeah, I did Shakespeare already in 98, but I mean, we also always did it from our
Yeah,
perspective.
your own.
97, it was with another play there. And then because of the directors maybe didn't totally got what we did, I thought like I did with hip hop. I can do that better. Like I can battle that. I want to
Yeah.
battle them.
Yes.
But now I want to battle them in classical theater. And that's when we started making theater. And the first couple of plays we did, I didn't know anything about nothing. And then they would give reviews. Maybe it would be a great idea if they had a real story they could follow. I was like, that's a great idea, you know. So
A story.
I didn't get mad. I learned from it. Same way that when we met Damon, he told us something, right?
That's how you
Yeah,
developed.
yeah. I was
Because
like,
when we saw it, I think it was 98, that me and Elvis, we went down and saw it the first time. It's like, wow, what is this? And then you came up with the idea to do this Scandinavian folk dancer that we did together with Atomic Boogie Boys. And that's, I guess, you came
Moved
into
from
Sean.
it, Atomic Boogie Boys and Out of Control. And when we did this show in Circles Torv in Kulturhuset, it was 99. And then I thought, okay, if we call it 3 modern Scandinavian folk dances, then they would have to know it. Because I felt so much like we got excluded from everything. Because nobody knew about it. Like the Royal Ballet, they didn't know we existed. You know, nobody knew we existed.
No.
So I thought, and then it came in the newspapers.
Yeah,
right?
it was really...
Yeah, remember it says that hip hop has become a folk dance.
Yes.
Yeah. And it was so...
That was your idea.
Yeah.
Because I remember that idea. It's like, oh shit, can we really call it like that?
Yeah.
But it is Scandinavian, yes.
Yeah.
It is folk. We are folks.
And it's modern.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's...
Yeah, it was all that.
Yeah.
And then with the puppet and was it who was the
Petter was the rapper and Puppet did the...
And CMP?
Yeah,
Who was the graffiti painters? Puppet was one of them.
Yeah, Puppet had an exhibition.
Yeah. We had 3 graffiti writers from one
Yeah.
from each country also. So we did the rap, the graffiti, the dancing, the storytelling, and your performance and Out of Control performance and Atomic Boogie Boys were all 3 different ones.
Yeah.
Yeah. Atomic Boogie Boys was hilarious.
Yeah, it was hilarious. It was really funny.
Planet Rock.
Yeah. And they built it out also. It was funny because they went on tour with it later on with that show.
Yeah. They were so smart.
Yeah.
But it's funny like how both of us remember it was hilarious.
Yeah.
Even if you can't remember exactly what you did, but you remember it was really hilarious.
Yeah. And this was the fun with it because you did it was more heart moving.
Yeah.
And they were hilarious, funny.
Yeah.
And ours was more like a street dance show.
Yeah, exactly.
So we all made our own.
But you also
different
did
impact.
this with the miming, right?
Yeah.
Like some text that you were saying.
I don't remember now.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
But Easy Rockers also did that when they did shows in Kongstrædgården. Then they did this. Because I was thinking of it when we just went to Street Star with all the crews, they reminded me of Easy Rockers, how they used to do their show. So I think it's kind of like a Swedish thing.
Yeah.
The first big theater plays we did was in France. Out of Control, right? And that was because of Actual Force with Gaban and Storm and Battle Squad. They invited us to be a part of Chateau Vallon.
Yes, exactly.
Avignon.
That festival.
Yeah, that festival.
And that's when you put together
A theater play for the first time. And that was
because France was always a little bit ahead of us in that
field. But that was the first time it was done in Europe. And I remember that it was a huge thing for French art scene. And after this show, it really blew up in Europe. And we can easily say that you remember with Moves Per Minute, Throwdown Rockers, Out of Control, Atomic B-Boys, Battle Squad, Actual Force, and then Emilio and Mauricio from Italy. We were, and then there was Mick from England.
From England,
Right?
Second to none.
Yeah, second to none. It was kind of like the only cruise.
Yeah, well, it was such a small family, maybe 100 people in Europe.
Yeah. So
at least in dancing. And then a lot of guys went into DJing or to make producing or do some rap.
Yeah, exactly.
But
a lot of guys did that, and a lot of the graffiti painters got jobs as in art agencies or advertising companies and this stuff, right? So, but at the end of the 90s, then a lot of American crews started to get back at it again.
Yeah, they got actually a lot of impact from Europe.
I think so.
It is happening in Europe.
Yeah.
And of course, the scene here was quite big then. I mean, with the Battle of the Year and also those kind of theater plays.
We battled against Flying Steps when we were there in 95 in Battle of the Year. And by then, I remember Actual Force was the judges. And they told me they didn't know the rules because they thought that when we won that battle, we had to go to the final. But there was no final. It was the battle for third and fourth place and first and second. But the judges didn't know that back then, right? So it was so new that everybody was still trying to figure out what is this? How is it going on? And you remember, like, back then, we had, like, Amigo in Flying Steps was the popper. So there was always like
it was a breaking crew and then one or two poppers.
And some locking that everybody could be in on, right? So that's the culture we came out of. Compared to like how separated.
Yeah, now it's really separated. Now you would not have a competition where you have some breakers and the breakers also do locking. And maybe you have some competition and then you bring in a locker. Which is maybe not part of the crew. It's just.
But where's the graffiti painter? Right? Yeah. And you still do your graffiti,
I still do.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit weird. It's so separated now. That if you go to a jam, then it's almost like you ask, is it a popping jam or is it a locking or street dance jam or is it a b-boy jam? I mean, for us, it was the same. It was no.
And I think for me, because the first years was really I did everything together with Thomas. But then Thomas, when he was here in Stockholm, he got a girlfriend and she got pregnant and they had a kid. So all of a sudden, and we were just 18 or 19 and it was so abstract. Like, I don't know.
How did you get to know Thomas?
Thomas I met through like the youth club and the environment back in Copenhagen. And we clicked really fast. And before then I was popping together with a guy called Chris Wallace that was really good. And him I met at a competition. And we thought like, your style is great. Oh yes, should we team up? We go in the group together. And like that. So in the first year you were changing groups so many times.
Yeah, because you want to be with the best. And the best want to be with the other best. I know it.
That's right, yeah. So, but then when we had Out of Control in 87 was actually when all that stuff finished and we continued and dancing in the street.
Yeah.
And then Anthony and Warren and Dave, they heard about that we were making money, like in the street. So they flew over.
Yeah, then
back.
You connected all together, and then you had TV shows also, and you did a lot of things.
Yeah, we did every Saturday night. We were on national TV for more than a year, doing different choreographies, and that was in the 90s. So at this time, I don't think there was another crew, maybe anywhere.
No, you had it going on, so to say.
Yeah, we were turning. I mean, this is way before the internet, so I think maybe I wrote 100 letters out to companies every week, and the success was if they answered. You know, wow, I got a letter back. You know, is it a yes? Is it a no? Not so important. It was mostly this. And then when we started to be on TV every Saturday night, of course, we got some offers that we never had before then, right? So,
were you always interested to be because this is more the commercial side?
Yeah.
Were you always interested in to make it as your living? Or did you not even think of it like that?
I didn't have a clue. I really didn't have a clue. I just know that it was a lot better. I didn't even think about it.
Huh?
And it's so weird. Now I never had another job than dancing.
No.
It's not like I had another job at some point. I didn't.
No.
I was just dancing always.
No.
And some of my friends would say, "Well, you always dance your way out of any trouble, right?"
Here comes trouble. Let me go dance.
Yeah, and then being in.
But you survived. I mean, you're doing it.
Yeah.
And you're doing it good. And you've been all over the world, I know. And you've been doing all kinds of different things. And I don't think that you think to yourself that you sold out or you did things that you didn't want to do.
No, not really. No, more likely that because when I started in the theater, like really started, after we did all the beginning stuff, then I wanted to do more like real theater, because I remembered in the youth club how it would be with writing lyrics. It would be like organizing a show, getting the graffiti pictures up, making the music.
Yeah, you need to do everything yourself.
Yeah, so I thought after doing Shakespeare that I can do, and it was weird because when I did Shakespeare, I think I was about the same age as Shakespeare was when he wrote Midsummer Night's Dream. So I wouldn't accept that I couldn't understand it. Like I wanted to read the script and understand everything in it. So I really sat down, and after this, then I started teaching the ballet like in the university, and their line for history of dance and artistics. And then I started reading about ballet, and it was only 400 years old. And I started finding out, well, mechanical dancing is much older than this. And waving, what's it called, like Egyptian dancing and all this stuff is so much older. And Bali and all these styles, and we know that our style of dance comes from a big city culture, and the big cities was not always big cities, and people came from everywhere, and then this dance is kind of like a dance
melting pot from
everything, right? So I started teaching in the university that the ballet dancers should actually be the street dancers, because they only have a culture that's 400 years old, and our culture is 2,000 years old, right? And then the whole rhythmical aspect of it, with all the African dance and the acrobatics and all this that fits into it. And so I thought I could easily learn the history of dance ballet, and then it came to opera and real theater. And why is it and in the real theater, they have these little figurines at top of it, like an angel with a mirror and an angel with a torch. And the mirror is the reflection, like you have to have something you can reflect yourself in, and the torch is enlightenment. And then everything you can write it like as a rap song. So that's when I really started to think, okay, so theater is just like hip hop. Actually, when I look at somebody like Bauhaus or Picasso and the Paris Opera, I think, wow, they were really doing hip hop before us. So suddenly I understood there was a big history that I could lean
Yeah, that
on.
was the hip hop of
Yeah.
of those years or
Yeah.
those ages.
Yeah, and Damon always said, well, before I started, there was other people dancing, and they had also learned from somebody. So I think of a very early age, I understood that hip hop was hip hop before it was hip hop. So that way I could kind of like connect all these things to a much further history. And that's not to take anything away from all the funk styles and all this. And I understand the funk music and all that came on the West Coast, and the b-boying and the rap maybe evolved in New York. And I was living in New York for a long time in the beginning of the 90s also, together with my friend Lucas Sequence. I had this rap album called Lucas with the Lid Off, and we were touring, and I was hanging out with Ultra Magnetic MCs and watching all the rap shows when they came out in because of my friend the Duke was playing at all the clubs, and Mars and Nils, and with Bobbito, that's also a part of Rocksteady, Bobbito and Stretch Armstrong, that I also knew back then. So I could basically walk in for free in all the clubs, and I could every night there were a new battle, right? And I was lucky if somebody then all of a sudden also could do some popping or locking, because normally it would just be hip hop dance.
Yeah, exactly.
So we saw the whole change then, and we kept going with what we love to do. And then when everything returned in a way was after 2000, right? Then more people came into it again. Yeah.
Especially the b-boying, but maybe, I mean, the popping scene is really big now, maybe the last 15 years.
Yeah.
But I don't know, back then, between 2000 and 2010, in my mind, it was not, then it was more the b-boying scene, at least here in Sweden. But
Yeah. No, you're right. You're right. Yeah, what have I mean? Because then also with Salah, and I did some popping competition where I met Taco and Poppin' Pete and Mr. Animation for the first time, and they were judging. And in my mind, were doing terrible judging. And I know I didn't lose my battle, but Taco voted for me, but Poppin' Pete and Mr. Animation voted for the other guy. And I got really angry, like really angry. And Salah was there, and Walid was there also. And I knew that I should have went to the final for sure. And so I got very angry. So when they had their judge solos, then I jumped up on stage and I wanted to battle them. So I started dancing in their judge solos. It was so rude.
but hip hop mind.
Totally.
Yeah.
But I drove 1,000 kilometers to get there. So I was not going to leave it like that. Yeah. I think actually DJ Renegade I gave him the tape because I couldn't stand to have it in my house, so I just gave it to him. Maybe he still have it. Hopefully he don't have it.
I don't want to see it anymore. No, I understand. It's sometimes you are really annoyed, but it is hard to judge. Also, I mean, for you and maybe also me or Damon or whoever who is like an original.
Yeah.
How to judge that? Because maybe the new guy, he started with, his first step was you, or his first step was me. Then of course he's longer in the development. He can do more things.
And
but how do you judge that compared to Mr. Wiggles? Or how do you compare that to?
Yeah, exactly. And my opinion was really not that important.
No.
And like when I met them, then I gave them the Out of Control videotape, and I said, like, thank you so much for all the inspiration and all this. So I was just disappointed they couldn't see me, if you know what I mean.
Yeah,
Like, they didn't see, like, that I actually put 18 years inside of this, right?
And then also for me, when I was into some popping competitions, and I've been doing this for, like you said, 18, 20 years, and then there's a guy who's doing it for 3 years, and you see him really like a new beginner, and he win. It's like,
what are we competing?
Yeah, what are we judging here?
Yeah.
Okay, he can do maybe more things, but what does he do?
Yeah.
But it's hard.
How
It's
does
hard
he
with
do
competition.
what he does, right? Yeah. And it's funny you say it, because a competition is a competition, and that means if there's a judge, it's not a battle. People call it a battle.
Yes.
But if there's a judge, it's a competition.
Yes.
And the competition is like, because now I judge so many things, and the worst thing is, for example, I go to China, then there's 300 people in solo category.
How do you judge?
And I'm the only person there who don't know who's the best. All the 300 poppers, they have a clear opinion about who is the 10 best.
Yes.
They know it. I don't know it. And now I have to really focus, because they get maybe 30 or 45 seconds each. And now I have to put that. So now I know a little bit more about what I'm looking for, right? And here in Street Star, for example, then they have already made 5 categories with subcategories in this. So now I know what to look for, and I can give that some point. And now it's with the app in the phone, so I just have to do a crossfader. So that's a lot easier than you have to sit and write. And you don't want to look down.
No, exactly.
While you watch them.
No, you want to look at the same time.
And when this person stops, the next person starts. So you have to be kind of fast in some way, right?
I know.
So when you have the crossfader, it's easier. But for me, if they do one style, it's one style, right? If they do it like high level in this one style, it's high level. But if they do 5 styles on high level, they will get a higher point than one style and 5 level, unless it's the highest level. You know, like if you just do waving and it's like incredible waving, well,
yes,
yeah. So in that way, it's but it's hard because
and now when we talk about that, what could inspire you now? What is it? What you see? What inspire you now?
Yeah.
Is
so
there
like
any persons or any style, or is
there's so many people I think that's good. So now I really would love if I could learn how to do really good robots. So I practice robot, and I know it's the opposite, because like I said, like Sheik always told me, you have to be good at robot first, and then you can learn everything else. So finally at 57, I'm trying to learn robot.
Start from the beginning.
And it's so difficult, because every time, like robot has to just stop.
Yeah.
It just stops.
Yeah.
But
it's easy to overdo it.
Yeah, it's so easy to add a little pop.
Yes.
And it's so wrong. So I have to stop and just this and But it's getting better and better, because then I can remember my slow motion technique also. Slow motion, you always pressure a little bit, and the takings are not taken. It's just stop, right? So right now there's a lot of good robot dancers, and I really love the development there has been in the robot for the last. But it was the same way when I used to start all the tutting. It went a few years, then I found out, okay, there's dementia, there's what's it called, Tetris, there's Sean, of course. Sean was so good back then, right? And then Morty, my other Japanese dance partner, was also very good at all this. I mean, he used to do this stuff at a very early point, so hitting this, so he could take his head, and here, and here, right? So that isolation, and everything that Sean did was also like, okay, so now this elbow isolate, this comes here, right? So that was what did my interest in getting all those isolations that in some point stand still and another point move, right? And I still love charting. So then I found out, wow, there's this whole culture that they call turfing in Bay Area. That's incredible. And when I started to see that, then I learned more and more. And then I spent at least more than 10 years of just doing charting and trying to develop systems for that, because it was easier for me if I could turn it into different systems. And that's still...
Because to teach it out or for yourself?
For
Both.
myself, really, because I mean, one thing is you learn like this, but then when you figure out, okay, it also goes on the other side. Okay, so this is actually a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, that's a full circle like juggling, right? And same thing, 1 and 2. So these are like connected to each other. And I think it was mostly because that's how we learned. So when you do the boogaloo roll, you don't learn it one way. You have to
you have to do it the both ways.
Yeah, how to connect it. Okay, this stops.
Yes.
This moves. This moves. This stops. Okay, this goes here. Okay, so the shoulder actually goes this way. It goes this way. So we grew up analyzing stuff, and I think, and so because then I do all the popping, then I also know. Okay, so when I'm doing the turn, if I go, then this stays here. Now
now your body can move or your legs.
So that's advantage compared to other toppers, because maybe they don't have that background, right? And then with the slow motion, like
to shift the speeds.
Yeah, the speed and the texture of the whole arm.
That's what I like the most. It's when you change speeds. So it's not the same rhythmic all the time.
So learning tutting, but adding after learning tutting, then could add all the rest of the stuff, and even locking, like okay, so that I can also try and incorporate in this. But now with the robot is also the same again, right? Because the boom, ka, ka.
Yeah.
So how can I add like all the funk and the dancing?
Like you said, because maybe if you're a robot dancer and this is your style, if you're only that, then you only know that vocabulary. You cannot mix it with popping, or you cannot mix it with boogaloo. You cannot mix it with chatting. So this is if you have known all the different basics, then of course you can mix it easier.
Yeah, you can mix it easier. And first time I was in Los Angeles was '93, and there we met. Thomas was also there, and with Out of Control, we did some street shows in Venice Beach. So we also met Mr. Animation, and we met Flat Top. And then we met Bob and Ron, practiced with Bob and Ron, practiced with a lot of the guys from back then. And then we understood one more time that it's like endless.
Yes.
And they were so good. And we thought we were so good, but they were so good. And, so the whole culture, all what Damon was trying to explain is kind of like what we've been seeing since then. And maybe like to take it back to your first questions almost was like how to become an original. It's like, and then when you watch Breaking an Entry, like it's
one of the first movies.
Like, and there's so many different styles from the West Coast in it, and clearly you could see that when they do breaking, it's super bad.
Because it's not from their that origin back then.
So
wow.
So I hope that what we did in Denmark, Sweden, and Norway was a part of how our style became our style, and we were so lucky that so many
we had people
yeah,
who can influence us the right way.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, because I remember also now when I thought popping or my style or electric boogie was Mr. Wave, and then when I saw Damon, it was just such a culture clash.
Yeah, yeah,
and it's still the same dance, but
yeah,
it's not.
it's not. Yeah,
It was just totally.
yeah,
I would not say depressing, but it was almost that you are fooled. Like I need to know everything.
yeah, yeah.
I don't know nothing. I don't know nothing.
Yeah, exactly. Mr. Wiggles I met first time not before 96, where we had a long session dancing like forward and back, and he recorded some stuff with me, and I was on his first DVD, I think, Mr. Wiggles tapes back then.
He has some tapes. Yes, I have also some at home.
But I mean, now I met him so many times over so many years, and he's such a nice person and so generous. And same thing with Pop and Pete. And I feel so bad for like being so rude when I was so young. And I'm like, and those are my biggest inspiration.
Yeah.
So in some ways, I got so disappointed because these people meant so much to me. But now it's of course different, and they're like just great colleagues, like friends or like a part of a bigger family. And there's not so many people who still dances and did dancing since
No.
then and stayed with it.
I stayed with it. Yes, that's true. Even if some of them were away some years, but then back again. But
exactly.
it's they are there, and they still spread their culture. They spread the knowledge.
Yeah, I mean, for example, Olafur Eliasson, that also danced in Copenhagen in the beginning of the 80s. He was in a crew, they called it Harlem Gun Crew. And of course, they were not for Harlem, and they were not nothing with guns, but they were a crew. And they came from Holbæk, Harlem, Holbæk. It's almost the same. So, anyways, that's a guy called Cutfather, and it's Olafur, and there was a guy called Tim Frank Andersen, and they're all like doing three different things. Cutfather is doing music, and he's great success with it. Olafur, all his installation art and so much art, and he's one of the best in the world at all this, right? And then Tim Frank Andersen, he's like a IT genius. And
but this is amazes me also. Now when we do this interview series, a lot of the people that we met when we were teenagers and were into this culture, into the dancing, or later on into music, or at least into hip hop, they become something special.
Yeah, exactly.
It's very interesting that they did not just blend away. A lot of people they really became.
I had
successful
a meeting with all the culture ministers at one time from Scandinavia, and I told them about our youth club and about Denmark and Sweden and Norway, how important the youth clubs were, and I recommended them to just give as much funding for youth clubs as possible. And I've been going to this old youth club also that we used to go to and ask them, how come you don't do that thing anymore? And then they say, well, there's none of the young people, they don't ask for it. When you guys were here, you asked, can we have turntables? Can we have something we can spray paint on? Can we have a competition?
Maybe it is a little bit different climate for the kids.
Yeah, but I think it's coming back. And for example, here now with Street Star, there was one group who did a political dance, and they had Greta Thunberg sampled in it. And they were saying that the grown-up has failed them in their texts before, and it feels bad to be young because there's nobody has been
guiding them.
Yeah, exactly. So they had this whole text in the beginning. They have the music, and they're really doing the hip hop, and then they say blah 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 blah, and they're dancing. And I was thinking, wow, this is fantastic.
Yeah.
So I think maybe in the 80s there was a lot of kids wanting to take power over their own life, and perhaps it's kind of like because of the whole crisis with
with all the politics all over the world.
Yeah, so maybe it's coming back to this where kids would take more power over their own situation, kind of like what we did. Hopefully.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah. Blah 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 blah. That was so hip hop.
Yeah, that's hip hop.
Yeah.
And maybe now it's also moved into, what do you think of that? I mean, this whole street dance culture, the dance culture that we come from, has moved into dance schools.
Yeah.
More or less.
Yeah.
At least the main part.
Yeah.
There is still some youth clubs and youth houses, but what do you think of that? I mean, the whole development, like you also breaking was on Olympics, and you're seeing graffiti painters that do murals, and you know the development of the culture.
Yeah, I think I'm so happy that, because I think it would have died if it stayed the same. If you don't transform the whole time, I think it would die. And for me, it's such a, like, none of us would have thought that there would have been a hip hop culture when we started, and we are now, our age, and the young people, it feels like they're gonna steal our culture now. Why can't they make up their own culture? Why do they have to do hip hop also?
Yeah.
But I mean, who wanna do the same culture as your parents? I have never heard about anything like that before. So the best thing is if they can make hip hop their own. And I think they're doing a great job at this, actually, right? And I'm so proud that we could have been.
Yeah, we're part of it.
Yeah, and we actually could invite them in, and we can accept they do it in their own way.
Yeah.
I think this is why in Bay Area they call it turfing, and they don't call it popping, because obviously they're doing popping, they're doing tutting, they're doing waving, they're doing floats.
But they want to call it
their own name. Yeah, because then they can make it up themselves.
That's why it's trap, not rap. It's they want to have it for their own.
Their own name. Yeah. They want to invent everything one more time.
Yeah.
Like how we felt. And then later on you can find out, well, it's actually 2,000 years old.
Yeah.
Or probably more if we knew the documentation of it. So, of course, we can never be original, but we can always just learn from something before, and then we can imagine when we're young that we're reinventing the world, that there's never been anybody like me before, right?
We think.
But that's how it should be when we're young, right? Yeah. So I think everything we have done, if this can be a part of the history forward, that's incredible. That's incredible, right? I mean, that's really, truly incredible.
Not maybe the last question, but you mentioned quite much Out of Control, and I know that you were a crew from, I don't know, 87 then until 2000, 2002.
Yeah,
I mean, 15
like
years. It's not something that you miss to have a crew.
But then after this, then we had... I thought, okay, because I was dancing with so many new people, and you remember Natural Effects, and then at some point they wanted to call it, what did you say again?
Yeah, the Natural Out of Control Effect.
Yeah, because they also wanted to be a part of it.
Yeah.
They didn't want to be left out and just be a part of something that was there from way before. So I thought when I started to really dance together with Nick and Jeppe and Martin from the Robot Boys, that we should have a new name, because then we have something new together. And that was the Big City Brains, right? So then we became the Big City Brains instead of just
Out of Control.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, and
did it feel like a loss, or like?
No, not really, because every time I see Wildcats in Paris or I meet Anthony and Warren, we would always have that history.
Yeah, the
together.
memory, the feeling is still there.
So it actually feels more like I didn't wash away any of our history, but better to do something
new then.
New. And or everything I do in the theater, when I do a theater play, then I can always think, well, how would Out of Control have done it back then? And that would always be a part of every decision I make, or
interesting.
Next thing. So
it lives on in you.
Always.
Maybe also with Wildcats and Thomas,
always,
it lives in them.
Yeah. It's this.
And another question that popped up then, a lot of those things that you have done more entrepreneur-wise, it's in Denmark.
Yeah.
You never thought of trying to do it like something similar, but in London or in Paris or in New York, or try to get the fundings to do it somewhere else, or a tour? Or
we did a tour with some of the big theater productions, for example, in the big what's it called, like theaters in China. And I also did a big theater play in Tokyo in 2005 in Japanese. And then, of course, I started to make theater before in France, then Denmark. So right now, that's the goal, to bring it back. If I can do something in America, to kind of like give back to the culture there, because I learned so much from it. So if I could give something back that could help the younger generation there, that would be amazing, right? Here in Sweden, I would love to do the same, but you have already had Bounce and the dancing theater, and that's been fantastic. There's so many things you're doing, but I think my vision is more like a whole for hip-hop. So everything is done in a hip-hop way, and hopefully we can get to do the next level of all this that we have been doing together already, right? And I talked with Storm and Robo-Z and Amigo about the same things, and I talked to Salah about the same thing, and France and Germany and Scandinavia and America and China, and like my dream is that we can create something together that can help the next generations of hip hop having it a little bit more easy, because when we grew up, then we knew that, at least our parents was thinking that, what are you going to do when you grow up?
Yes.
And now most of the kids, for example, the Robot Boys, they knew that if they get good at popping, they can have a job in the theater. And that was not something that we thought was possible, right? So all the kids growing up in Denmark now, they know if they're good at what they do, they can have a real job. And the parents knows it too also. So in that way, we helped change.
Yeah, of course. It would maybe be possible to gather all the main names, the main characters into one production.
Yeah.
And
I mean, I had everybody from Osama and what's it called, Lamine and Morty and Benny and
of course,
Chico.
you need to have the same vision, almost. And
yeah. But it's nicer if you can do something that can go in different countries, and that's what I'm working on now for a long time, right? Yeah.
Would be something.
Yeah. Would be something incredible.
Be
Yeah, so it's still like I'm not finished. It feels like I'm still just beginning, and I'm gonna learn.
Because this was part of the answer of my question. What is the next step for you? But maybe we will see.
To finish the circle, to give back to all the people that I have learned so much from. If I can be at service to help out other places, then you can help me finish the whole circle of giving back. And that's why it was also great seeing everybody here in Stockholm again, because it's such a huge part of me. Every time I go to China, I'm showing like videos from back then. I'm showing them Damon and Bebop, and I'm showing old stuff with all of us from Scandinavia, like so. It's not like because I'm not here, I'm still here. So for me to be here again is like more important to me than you, if you know what I mean. Yeah.
Nice. I don't know. Martin, do you have anything to comment?
No, I'm just listening.
It's really interesting to hear everything, and maybe you have a story. This is something that you need to address to people. What have happened that you want to share?
I mean, for me, I'm just super happy that actually, like all these people that we grew up watching in the movies, that we have met them in real life, and we are part of their life now also. And so there's so many stories, right? And most of them I couldn't tell anybody because it would be like.
You told me a story before, but I will not tell on
Yeah,
camera. But
that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, all the
when we went
secrets.
on,
No, no.
when we had a little bit too much to drink.
Yeah, that's terrible. Yeah, yeah. We were in Finland.
Yes. Well, but I remember also one thing. My oldest daughter, we were at Wildcat's wedding.
Yeah.
And she had to sleep on the chairs because everybody was dancing, and she was really tired.
Yeah.
I mean, a dad, sleep on the chair. We put 4 chairs together, and you can sleep there.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of stories. Like it feels like one big family for so many years, right? So there's there's so much stories that shouldn't leave this room for anybody.
Well. Anyway.
Yeah.
I thank you.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be a part of Swedish hip hop.
Yeah, you're really part of our history.
Yeah, I feel the same. That you are part of my history wherever I
go. Also that, but
yeah.